right, here we go. It's been a while since we've done this kind of content um, for both pages and Instagram and Facebook. And today is kind of a day of reflection for us, for me, in that November 9th, 2013, a Saturday, was the day of my stage 4 kidney diagnosis. Um, and today marks 6 years to the exact day that since I was diagnosed, and still cancer free, beating those 5% odds of making it past the 5 year mark. It's interesting because the day falls a week before my actual birthday. So I guess it kind of makes, I always like to have the celebration of Dan. So actually the celebration of Dan for the past 6 years now has been a week-long festivity, and it kicks off with November 9th. And here we are today. You saw in stories there as well too, I started off the day at Orange Fitness. Went in and did a weight training class. It was great to get up and kick cancer's ass, essentially. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I'm just eternally grateful. I feel gratitude every day that I wake up. We're very fortunate that we live in such a beautiful area of the country and the world here in Naramata, Indian Rock, and I think actually where we live too has played a really big part in my cancer recovery, in that we live in this beautiful natural setting with Okanagan Lake in front of us, the wildlife abounding, and just permitting to be very mindful of everything, mindful of time.
Yeah, well,
I'll continue on. Yeah, we'll probably laugh a lot and cry a lot. Not sure how long this is going to last, but again, too, even with our social media feeds over the past years, it's been a very, very interesting journey. Be it on the health advocacy and the animal rights activism. When we recount and I look back at all the fabulous people that have entered our lives and we've gotten to know and gotten to meet because of this lifestyle. Aside from being healthy, I think the social aspect of this lifestyle has been pretty tremendous. We're kind of introverted people, and that's why we live out here in the middle of nowhere. And as a police officer, human beings at times are not my favorite species, but plant-based vegan lifestyle has just been phenomenal. And did we lose friends when we became vegan and went plant-based?
some.
Yeah, some, but my
Yeah, we
gosh,
train new ones.
we've gained
So many.
so many new ones that we've been fortunate enough to meet face to face, and carrying on as well with our friendships online across the world, which was something that we never ever imagined we would be doing. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to come on here and immediately cry, but it's such a strange day. It's like we're celebrating the anniversary of probably the worst day of our lives, right?
yeah, but as many cancer diagnoses say, cancer is a double-edged sword. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing that can
Yeah.
happen. It's a really good thing when you don't die of it too soon.
Uh,
But and I've said this on some of the podcasts that I've been on, it's never been a thing about anger. It's been emotional, very very emotional. Cried a lot, I've laughed a lot. Never anger, and I think that was the one thing that from the onset of it, I thought I really don't have time to be angry.
yeah. I don't know. It's the whole thing has just been such a, 6 years of just, it's been such a wild ride. I mean, I can't believe that it's already been 6 years.
Yeah.
Thank God it's been 6 years. And hopefully many, many more. But I mean, geez, hit us like a bus, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we were not expecting that.
No.
We had adopted a whole food plant-based lifestyle. A couple of years at home, you were eating that way. But it was that night in emergency that you really adopted 100%.
What? Yeah.
And I think the overall message that we've really tried to drive home in these past I mean, we weren't on social media for the first 2 years, I guess, because we were busy struggling to survive.
Seeing if I was going to survive.
Yeah, but since then, it's been a message of hope because they said months to 2 years maximum, and here we are at 6 years. So on you all.
Fuck you, cancer.
and there is always hope. There's always hope.
Yeah.
And there were days that there were there were some low, tough days, but we came through it. And I think that there's Maxwell in the background celebrating outside. That by adopting a plant-based lifestyle, I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
Just huge. And so we've been advocating that ever since.
And with the only regret not doing it sooner, and we so wish we had done this for our family. And again, one of the most satisfying things and rewarding aspects of this, again, aside from surviving cancer, but adopting this lifestyle, is being somewhere, not even in Penticton here in the Okanagan, we've had people come up to us and tap us on the shoulder and just say simply thank you. You've helped us tremendously. You have no idea what you've done for our lives.
And it doesn't even have to be cancer. I mean, we do get a lot of people with cancer reaching out to us. But people who've reversed their diabetes or lowered their blood pressure medication or seen other amazing health recoveries.
And young families too that have looked into it, done the research, learned about the why they should be doing it, and again are very thankful to have set themselves up onto this course with their young children. And that's amazing. With police work, it was very, very rewarding work to help people and to help victims and help my communities. I guess here it's no different. It's just a different community, a much larger community than that we were serving, that I was serving as a police officer, and now I carry on.
And who knew that 6 years ago in emergency, when you were told that you had stage 4 kidney cancer, that our lives would change so drastically? We went on to be in a documentary, Eating You Alive, which was just such an honor. And we've been on podcasts and spoken at Veg Fests, and we've been on Holistic Holiday at Sea, the vegan cruise. We've done, it's changed our lives.
It's really kind of
completely.
Well, and then too, putting ourselves out there when an opportunity, or not even knowing if it's an opportunity, when something comes up, to say, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big things after your cancer, is that we decided we weren't going to say no to any experience, because life's short, and that was really brought home to us. And so it's like, let's just do what we can and see where we go. And it's been amazing. So
yeah.
I can't believe we don't have a Kleenex box. Us, of all people, don't have a Kleenex box right now.
Did you want to go with that one? No. It's bittersweet in the sense, though, because in the 6 years, my health, I've regained my health, I've thrived. We've gotten involved with animal rights activism. We've learned about the animal agricultural industry as to what it's about and the horrific nature. And it's just this machine that is just so horrific, so unhealthy for us, for the planet, and just brutal. And then learning about the environmental impact of animal agriculture. That has been, I think, one of the tougher sides of all this lifestyle as well, too, is that you don't want to be preachy. You don't, it's not about forcing, and it's not a belief. These are facts and the science. You are, as you say,
you're entitled to your own beliefs and opinions, but you're not entitled to your own science. No. And the science is clear and it's robust, that a plant-based diet is the healthiest for us as humans. It's definitely the healthiest thing for animals, and it's absolutely the healthiest thing for the planet.
Yeah.
And sometimes we often say, God, we could have just survived cancer and gone back to our old life and be outside puttering in the garden. But once you see, you can unsee. And once you learn about this, you cannot stand quietly by and allow it to continue to happen without trying to, educate, bring awareness all of those
to the
types of things.
this insanity of this system that's in place
Yeah.
that is killing us, killing animals, killing the planet.
Because
We're at a point in time where there's not a lot of time left, and in the coming couple of years, it's going to be very, very interesting. What I certainly another thing that I'm very sensitive to is the fact that we're finishing this decade. We are in the last month and a half of this decade. We're starting a new decade, and it's the 2020, which I really foresee, and I'm hopeful that is the vegan decade. It has to be. It really, really has to be. There's no other choice. I'm hopeful that more and more people will open their minds to examining the facts about simply not eating dead animals,
yeah,
and that to their own personal benefit and the global benefit and collective benefit.
we could have saved ourselves a world of hurt by adopting this.
Yeah.
You know, in our early 20s, say, I think you would have avoided kidney cancer altogether, probably, because the links between animal protein and kidney cancer are huge.
Mm-hmm.
And can you imagine if everybody had actually listened to the science when it was starting to come out way back in the 70s
About the environment.
and the environment, and you know, we'd be in a whole different place. So hopefully it's not too late.
No, and we're very lucky again. The individuals, the dedicated individuals, these experts and very qualified individuals that are all working the specific or different aspects of this issue, from Dr. Sailesh Rao from Climate Healers, who just put out a white paper just recently with respect to actually looking at a more accurate number as to what the greenhouse gas emissions are caused by animal agriculture, unequivocally stating that it is the leading cause of greenhouse gas emissions, and that some of the hidden numbers that have been kind of shell gamed around for the past few years have been cleared away, and we're looking at animal agriculture being responsible for 87% of greenhouse gas emissions. Now, you're listening to this, you're saying, oh gosh, sure, go read the 13-page paper. Dr. Rao, electrical engineer, analyst, system analyst, the individual who is responsible for the digitization of the internet. I think I'll believe his math.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so there is some hope. There's always hope, and that's the whole thing, because without hope, there's nothing. And again, too, as a species, humanity can do a lot of good. We know that. So hopefully that we'll be looking at a compassionate decade, a decade of awareness and awakening for many, many more people, so that we can turn this ship around and make a new course. And then we'll carry on here. Ask us anything in the comments. That's the one thing I'd like to add in, is that more questions to us as to what you'd like to see, either be it on Indian Rock Vegans or Dan and Sheanne Moskaluk, and to update everybody. The group page Indian Rock Vegans on Facebook is pretty much 99.9% with respect to the health component of whole food plant-based lifestyle, the hubbing of all these resources, the science. She's the subject matter expert, so again, when you're asking questions about the health, usually I'll nudge her and she starts the writing and the researching for you. But and then the open page, Dan and Sheanne Moskaluk. Of course, you can't have two individuals, so it's Dan Sheanne Moskaluk. Sheanne, yeah. So we identify when we start speaking with you on that. But Dan Sheanne Moskaluk is the open page. It encompasses everything. You'll get an eyeful of animal rights activism information. You'll get an eyeful of our personal interests, be it the house, the area, and so on.
Although most of our personal interests are all plant-based, whole food, vegan related, generally speaking.
Yeah. And have we offended people? Have we shocked people with our activism? Damn right we have, and we're going to continue to do so, for all our lives, like you say.
Oh my God, I've been such a rule follower my whole life. And where's that gotten us, I always think about Sesame Street. There was this is a long time ago, there was a Sesame Street little skit about a little boy brushing his teeth, and a fish calls him on the telephone going, "Can you please turn the water off while you're brushing your teeth? We're running out of water out here." And it shows the level of the water going down. And I think, God, how long has that been on, and where has that gotten us? You know, it's just, you know, we've done things like, I've done things like turn the water off while I brush my teeth, keep my furnace low, turn off lights when we leave the room, all of those things, and it's gotten us really nowhere. It's time to take much more serious action. And if that means activism and maybe offending or shocking people, so be it. We're in our mid-50s. We've been model citizens. We've paid our taxes. We've rarely even gotten a speeding ticket over our lives. And I think we need to just ramp it up. And I think anybody who has any concerns needs to educate themselves, become more active, and make some noise.
Make some noise, yeah. And particularly for animals. We live on this planet with, you know, hundreds of thousands of species, and the wild ones are in dire straits right now, and we've created these domestic species that really their existence is solely because it's been man-made, and that
purely for exploitation.
Purely for exploitation as commodities, and it's a horrific thing. So as simple as changing what's on the tip of your fork and on your plate, you can make such a vast difference. There's nothing else you can do that compares to going plant-based. There's absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, Oxford University just put out a report. It was most comprehensive, and what did they recommend? Diet change. Diet change, not climate change.
So we're going to carry on. We're interesting this year. I think there's going to be less travel where we concentrate back towards finishing projects around the house. This darn build here at Indian Rock that's been ongoing since the early 2000s.
Well, things really kind of got put on hold there when the cancer came along, and then you know, just our life went off in a totally different direction. So we're kind of just reevaluating, pulling back a bit, figuring out what we can do to be most effective, instead of maybe running in 1,000 different directions.
We'd love to do everything. I think that's the thing is with this lifestyle, you want to do everything, be everywhere, see everybody, meet everybody, hug everybody, and eat everything everywhere, but it's just not possible. So it's been a phenomenal year again, and we're so thankful for all the invitations with our speaking engagements across Canada, and then this summer again in Berkeley, and then in Toronto with the ALC. It was a phenomenal experience to meet everybody, these fierce activists, these young teenagers to people that are older than us. And there's many of us, and there's many more. And I think it's just a matter that we've got to really do something and continue making noise about this. So who knows what the future holds with respect to my cancer? But every day, you know, I wake up, I feel great, and then I jump back into bed. I think about the day, I close my eyes, and I fall asleep.
And it's all been, I mean, you were supposed to, according to them, be long gone. I would have been a widow by now for several years. And so we're just so thankful and grateful to be here together and have experienced all these amazing things and met so many amazing people, and just even so honored that we actually have followers that are interested in our story and interested in what we do, and even that is such a, you know,
it's a funny thing.
We're just, you know, it's hard to believe. Sometimes
we're humbled. We're very humbled that people feel that what we have to say is valid and important, and certainly though the ripples were, that's the most wonderful thing about this is when you hear third hand about somebody who talked to somebody who had talked about us, or so on and so forth, who contacted us. And
it's not about our personal glory or fame or anything like that. We just you know, we've just had this life-changing experience. I lost 133 pounds. Dan survived stage 4 kidney cancer, and we just feel like that's our gift that we have to share. And by sharing it, we hope that it changes people on a personal level. We hope that we can help have some effect on changing things on on a grander scheme too.
Yeah. Definitely looking at becoming more political as well too, as to nipping at the heels of our municipal, provincial, and federal governments with respect to our food systems and getting more information out to Canadians about plant-based nutrition, be it for families. Certainly the thing that I've seen emerge this year that's been horrific is the bullying of vegans, that's small children and adults alike, in the workplace, in the school system. We've gone through this bullying and this discrimination thing many times over the decades with gay rights, with human rights and black rights and so on, and indigenous and you name it, women's rights and LGBTQ, and on and on and on and on.
The last bastion of political incorrectness is vegans.
Yeah.
And well, I think it's the three levels of truth, right? And right now we're being violently opposed, and pretty soon it will become accepted, hopefully. But it's we're going through a rough patch right now, so it's just we need to just get through that because we don't have time for that nonsense.
Self-evident. Really, just open your mind to the science and the truth and the facts that are there and so available to us. And then again, getting back to people that we've assisted, we've lost friends and contacts or acquaintances to cancer, and we've always said there's definitely no guarantees with that nutrition is going to be, the silver bullet. But I'm confident and like to think that those individuals that I got to know, some in person and online, that I truly believe that these conversations and the information that I forwarded to these people and the help we gave them did help them. There's no two ways about it. I'm pretty sure of that. And there's many of us that are surviving and thriving each and every day, and that are beating this, and then kind of looking back and kind of saying, yeah, we can do this. You can live with cancer. You don't necessarily have to die of it. So I don't know, we'll start filling the YouTube channel as well with content, get back to some of the cooking. Demos, I think, too, is very enjoyable. I know a lot of people have been asking us to do more of that. And then just putzing around Indian Rock here, and we look forward to meeting more and more of you out there in person and online. And it's a wonderful day today.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Closing, it's because of her beautiful intelligence that I'm still alive today. I say that time and time again. I'll say it again today. Thank you.